The spear, humanity's oldest hunting weapon, was replaced first by the spear thrower and then by the bow and arrow. The reasons? They hit more accurately, over greater distances, and can be fired at higher speeds to bring down prey. In a basement storeroom in the La Plata Museum, Karina Llano-Spillman and Silvina Castro take a close look at bows and arrows collected by ethnographers in South America. Alfredo Cottet, an expert on bows, is supporting the team today. He's built countless bows himself and knows what really counts when it's time to put this weapon to use. His expert eye and his knowledge should help the researchers learn more about the technological details of making bows and arrows. And the old weapons are ideal visual aids because they form a kind of conceptual bridge to the first bow makers of South America. It's good that the museum houses ethnographic and archaeological collections. This means the researchers can trace a line from the last originally used bows back to the earliest ones. For the archaeologists, it's about expanding their practical knowledge of the weapon system's success in prehistoric times. Furthermore, they're taking the opportunity to analyze the bows and arrows collected by the ethnographers in order to compare them to archaeological finds. Alfredo is an expert archer who has also made his own bows. He can compare different types of wood and has learned to make bows over decades of trial and error.
Well, it's amazing to talk to someone who's gone through this experience. You know, we can look at it and we read about it, but it's always very indirect. You know, the most direct we get would be somebody, an ethnographer, that's talked to people or sometimes made videos of people and they explain it, you know, but this is much more direct. And it's good to have an experience, to hear an experience of trial and error. He started when he was young, and he just wanted a bow to play with, basically. And he kept building them and kept experimenting with different woods, and you can really see that, you know, he has a careful eye for what works.
Finding out what works and how is the ultimate aim in science. Often, a more theoretical approach is adopted, but archaeologists are rarely satisfied with that. At the Museum of La Plata, things are now getting even more hands-on.
I think that in order to research something, so we're researching the bow and arrow, you have to experience it to some degree. You know, when I researched pottery, I took pottery classes. You have to understand that feeling of the practice, the activity of doing it, you know, because we want to write about, we want to understand the people who made these weapons and hunted with these weapons and what they were doing. And there's a part of it that's physical, that you can only know if you feel it in your body.
The researchers were able to persuade the expert to try a few trial shots with the bow. As an experiment, they try a traditional bow that Alfredo has made, based on a historical model. It's a very special experience.
Oh, it's great. It's so much. You need so much more strength than it looks, you know. And you can watch the others, the way the whole bow deforms as you pull the string back and the arrow. And for me, it was hard to keep it straight when you have it all the way tensed, the full tension there. But it's also really exciting to, you know, let the arrow fly and hear it hit. And yeah, we've wanted to do it for a long time.
Everyone gets a go. Karina Llano-Spillman is next in line. Just a few tips from the pro, and then it works pretty well, at least on the target close by. But this gives the archaeologists a feeling for what a challenge it must have been to hunt guanacos with bows and arrows thousands of years ago in the harsh world of the Andes. Reconstructing the life of prehistoric hunters is difficult because much of the evidence has vanished. but the guanacos still roam the Andean highlands, as they always have.